Okay, so welcome to our third Think and Drink. So I know Paulina and Paca, this is not the first rodeo for you guys, but for those of you guys that are new, and I mean everyone else, we can just kind of introduce ourselves and where we're from and where we work at currently, or where we previously worked at if you've been recently let go. But if anything, let's just kind of introduce ourselves. So I'm Philip. I work at Los Gatos Orthopedic Sports Therapy, and I'm contracted out to Willow Glen High School.
I'm Alex. I work at Hartnell College. It's a community college in Salinas in Monterey County, and currently still working, so feel pretty lucky with that.
Anyone? Yeah.
My name is Paulina. I'm a graduate assistant athletic trainer at San Jose State.
I'm Audrey. I recently just graduated from CVU with athletic training master's degree and looking for work.
Okay, I'll go last. Yes, I'm Paca. I am at LGOST also in doing my master's at San Jose State. So I'm doing a double, triple duty, working with a synchronized swim team through LGOST. It's pretty cool. And also San Jose High and also the San Jose State swim team. So lots of water sports for me.
Yeah, Paca's everywhere. Paca is everywhere. Okay, so our journal article for today, the effect of double versus single oscillating exercise devices on trunk and limb muscle activation. So, yeah, I honestly, when I first read the title, I did not know they were categorized as double or single oscillating exercise devices, but it turns out it's about the body blade and the TheraBand Flex Bar. Paulina, you chose the article, and why don't you go ahead and just share your thoughts about what you thought and what the article was about, and what made you choose this article for today.
So I kind of chose it because of your article last week. So last week we kind of did on TheraBand placement and of whether, position on above the knees or at the ankles or on the feet. So kind of with the same thing of taking like a basic tool that most of us use, I kind of wanted to do something more upper body with it. Obviously body blade and the FlexiBar kind of are like known devices. And yeah, I definitely did not know that they also have the single and double oscillating name. But so what I thought was really interesting about it was that in general, there's no difference between the FlexiBar and the body blade in the biceps, the triceps, and the forearm flexors. And then that the most beneficial position for the body blade and the FlexiBar is in a transverse plane. So that activates the anterior deltoid a lot more, and as well as the kind of the core. So but I really just found it interesting that there was no difference with the three muscles that I listed, which is kind of surprising because when you look at a body blade and like when you do the body blade, you feel like you're working a lot harder than you were if you were just doing a FlexiBar. The one thing I wish this article did kind of do, which I know would incorporate a whole lot more of different muscles, but if they were to take like a 90-degree horizontal abduction and see, because I've had my athletes do them kind of all over, and so I think that would incorporate a lot more, but it'd be cool to see how the rotator cuff kind of plays into it at that point.
Yeah, I always feel like with the body blade too, it's more like, I feel like I've seen it more with going through an actual sport motion, just going through the entire, like, let's say it's like an overhead athlete going through it, like doing like a PNF pattern, for example. But yeah, I think I wish the study that they did was geared a little bit towards that. But I think just with the basis of it, I think it's a good place to start, especially with a small sample size.
Yes.
Yeah, but I want to ask you guys, like, would you guys use the body blade for a core exercise, because they looked at the EMG activity for all the like the transversus abdominis and internal obliques. Like, would you guys still rely on the body blade as like a core exercise, or do you think there's more beneficial interventions?
You asking specifically core exercises for like an upper body athlete or like any
Just any athlete, just in general.
I think a BOSU ball, like I would use the body blade, but for core exercises, like my go-tos are more like the balance stuff and like doing planks on like a BOSU ball. So I mean, I would definitely use it to switch things up, but that wouldn't be like my first go-to.
I think it's much more sport specific for me.
Yeah.
Like I've always really liked to use, when we had one, was always with our baseball players in their throwing motion and getting their core activated with their throw and their motions and all that kind of stuff. That's what I always like to use the body blade for. But as like a single core exercise, I don't think I've ever used it for that.
Right. Yeah, I think it's just, I feel like with the body blade, it just seems a little cumbersome, like trying to think of like if we were to just, or not, I shouldn't say cumbersome, but just using the body blade and trying to get an athlete to buy in, like, oh, we're going to try to activate your core muscles and try to stabilize, but we're going to use this body blade and go from like a distal segment and work in that plane. I think it's just, it's interesting, but to get someone to really buy in and get the effectiveness out of it, I feel like that's probably the challenge from it.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah. But then the flex bar though, I've seen PTs and some ATs use the flex bar, and it just seems like they're like holding two sausages and they're just like, I don't know how else to describe it. It's just, it's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Like someone would be in like they're prone on a Swiss ball, and then they go into like a Y position and they're just shaking these flex bars. But man, if I was like that patient doing that in the clinic, like I don't know how I would feel. You know, it just doesn't seem right.
That happened just this week, I think, with Jendo. I think she was using the flex bar with one of her athletes. I don't know, it was a guy, and I just looked at her and I kept laughing at her because I can't it just looks funny. Yeah. I don't think I can pass.
Yeah, it's like, especially during this time with everyone, like the patients are wearing a mask and gloves, and then they're like holding the flex bar and they're just like in that position, they're just shaking. It's definitely a weird flex, but I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah, that's what we used to call it, the pickle.
Pickle.
My undergrad. Yeah, I like honestly did not know it was really like I saw the name on it, but I never registered flex bar with that.
Oh really? Yeah.
But so I guess like this article showing that there is actually like valid science and that it does activate something is kind of nice, that you're not just like waving it around for
like the shake weight thing. What is it called?
Yes. Yeah. Well, shake weight.
Shake weight. Is a shake weight, is that a double or a single oscillatory device? Because it's like you have two different ends on the shake weight, but it moves in a singular fashion. So I don't know how you're like, it's still an oscillatory device, right?
There's your next research project.
Yeah, I know. That'd be interesting.
Bring it back from the dead. The shake weight.
Yeah, I think there was like, I remember there's this one video with it was like a New York Jets training camp, and I think when the shake weight was really popular, every football player, like that was part of their warm up. Like they would just warm up their triceps and take the shake weight behind their head and just shake for like the first 5 minutes of practice. They would just get like biceps, triceps, and they would put that on NFL films, and I'm like, really? Like you guys would use the like no one feels insecure about
They use it at San Francisco?
No, well, definitely not. Well, this was the New York Jets. No, they definitely did not use the shake weight at San Francisco. That'd be funny though. That would be like a running joke for a couple of years.
No, probably, yeah.
Yeah. Down Castro Street or something, and yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I think but I feel like the oscillatory method is just it's interesting. I read like a strength and conditioning book where towards the end of someone's uh workout program, they they uh they're using this oscillatory method, but one way that they would implement that is they would take like a super band and they would wrap it around 2 bars, and so that way there's the tension on the super band. But what someone would do is they would pretty much stick their arm right on the super band, and they would try to make that super band as like a perturbation exercise. So they would kind of go against the resistance of that super band, and they would just kind of shake, and that would give that oscillatory effect. I don't know if that gives like a little visualization, but it's something that they would still kind of shake at smaller amplitudes, but at a faster frequency, and it's against resistance. So it's just something that it's like a different way if you didn't have like a body blade or a flex bar.
Yeah.
Oh, and here comes Ross. Ross is joining in. Here we go. Hi, Ross. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. How is everything?
Awesome.
We were just talking about how funny the body blade and the flex bar were, and yes, exactly. That is the body blade.
However,
Yes.
it is inertial training, right?
Yeah.
In theory. So it's concentric, eccentric cycle. So in theory, you're getting.
Is everyone familiar with the inertial trainer? What that is?
Not really, but it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can find that. Let me look it up.
Yeah. So we have in LGOST we have this pulley machine, and you have pulleys on different ends, and there's pretty much like a rope that feeds through, and every time you go into like a concentric, there's always going to be that eccentric reaction that you have to anticipate, and you're kind of forced to go into that rhythm of motion. So a lot of times we have a lot of our overhead athletes going into a closed pack internal rotation for that.
That's kind of cool.
Did they do any studies on that inertial trainer, or it was just like the machine that someone just invented?
There's a lot of studies on it. Mark Albert was the guy who did most of the studies on it. With the book was written on eccentric muscle training in sports and orthopedic physical therapy or orthopedic rehab. So let's see if we do. Oh wow! I have to get Flash Player for this. Why don't I have Flash Player? What's going on here? Seriously. Manage. Unblock it. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I'm just kind of. Let's see if I can see it now. Oh yeah, here we go. So this is like seriously old stuff, but I'll show it to you. So it's basically the same principles as the body blade or the. So here he goes. Can you guys hear that?
Very faintly.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I think you click on that sound volume. Oh. You can click on the sound bars.
I'm trying.
Oh.
So if I do that, it totally mutes it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that weight just counterbalances and forces them to go into that eccentric contraction.
What a great athlete they chose. Just a mom from a supermarket.
Yeah, she's got the tie-dye shirt on and everything. Oh man,
Rolled up her own pants.
that is hilarious.
Yeah. So the idea is that when you first start to teach them, you do it slowly like this. So the power is driven from the hips, et cetera, et cetera. And then it kind of works its way through the trunk, the scapula, and then the cuff. And then, so they start out with about 17.5 pounds. And then as they go and as they get better, you reduce the weight. So then you get more of the type 2 fast twitch muscle fiber recruitment. So then it's more like an actual sporting type activity. So like here, you may start with external rotation at neutral, but then they may take them external rotation at 90, which kind of mimics more like an actual, throwing motion or things like that. So, oh, whoa, they're still playing. This is weird, man. I can hear it in the background. Oh, here we go. Hang on one sec. Wow. Oh, shit. What just happened? Okay, so let's see if I could share it again.
Okay.
Do that. So they're just kind of going over all kinds of different exercises. Let me bring this back here. Shoot. No, I don't want to see her again. No.
Man, even he's got some hip movement. He's just doing a little twist tango kind of deal.
Well, they just showed like him doing there. You go scapular protraction.
Oh yeah. That looks deceivingly hard, like being in that inline position and then you're going to that transverse plane.
There you go. There's the hip adduction.
Yeah.
There you go. Pretty cool. So just different ways, different applications you can use it for. But actually the leg that works really hard on that one is the leg that's in the ground.
Mhm.
So the stance leg is the one that's just getting killed. So pretty cool stuff.
Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you guys went over the article already? My bad, I got here late.
Yeah, Paulina briefly did, yeah.
Okay, no worries. So what was your major take home?
Just that the flex bar and body blade have no difference for biceps, triceps, and forearm flexors, and then that the transverse plane is what activates the anterior deltoid and the transverse abdominis and then internal obliques the most.
Nice.
Yeah.
I would buy that actually. That makes sense.
So that was cool. I did
Very
find
cool.
weird though, it did say that the triceps were the most activated during the frontal plane, but in the sagittal plane, you have to do a little bit of flexion and extension. The way they were, like, if you looked at the pictures, like you kind of just, and so I thought that would activate the triceps a little more because you're actively extending, but
Right.
it was 30% greater in the body blade, in the frontal plane for triceps.
The frontal plane going this way, right? With the blade going.
Yes. Yeah. So I thought it was going to be the sagittal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but it was the front. Yep. Sorry.
Yeah, that is weird. Yeah.
So here's a question. So what prompted you to actually look at the difference between the two?
We did the bands last week. So I was thinking of doing some like equipment that most of us kind of use around, and and honestly, I haven't really seen too much research about the flex bar. I kind of just thought you use it and you try to convince your athletes that you use them, but what do they really do? And so it was just kind of good to see an upper extremity device.
Have you guys heard of the Tyler twist with the flex bar?
No.
No. So there's a guy, he's out in New York. His name's Tim Tyler. He's the former president of the sports PT section, and he's actually on the consultant board for TheraBand. And so what they kind of devised was this method for lateral epicondylitis, right? So instead of doing the traditional either isometrics or eccentrics with forearm stuff, he would use it as a twist. So say if it's your right arm, you would start here, the band's in your hand, you grab the top here, you twist away with the top hand and back towards the other hand, and then you extend it in front, and then your right hand eccentrically lengthens over it. So you have to slow down. So you go from here, extend, flex, straighten out the elbows, and then decelerate wrist flexion. So it's called the Tyler twist, of course. So he had to name it after himself. But he did do a research article on it, and it did seem to help really, really well with lateral epicondylitis type symptoms and things like that. So he's that's his kind of one of his other claims to fame. He's also the guy who wrote the article on the adductor abductor strength ratios for returning hockey players for minimizing re-injury. So it was a 78% adductor versus abduction repair or abduction ratio. So he's kind of out there quite a lot in the research and stuff like that. Older dude, but does some pretty good stuff. So that's the only real thing that I've seen with the flex band or flex bars for that type of stuff. And the other stuff we've seen it more for is kind of like the body blade for oscillation and stuff like that. But not necessarily, I don't know if it's been researched very well at all. I think this might be one of the only things. So pretty cool though. Good times.
Yeah. How long ago did the body blade first come out?
I'm gonna walk away from the screen, but I'll still hear you guys through Bluetooth. I'm gonna say probably 25 years. Because I think it started out as one of those kind of like the shake weight on like an as seen on TV type of commercial, things like that. Because I just remember seeing, a girl in spandex, in a squat doing the chest press type thing, like where it's like, oh, wugga, 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 you know what I mean? And so I'm pretty sure it's back then. I mean, it was probably a little before I was a PT. So yeah, it's been a while. And I'm 95% sure it was on like as seen on TV, which is hilarious. By the way, do you guys have a drink already?
Yep. Have a drink.
Okay, I'm getting mine. A little hot, and then I got to jump in about 5 minutes to another call, so kind of sucks. But yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Other stuff? Sorry, I'm rumbling
Yeah,
through my fridge.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's interesting, like for like the high school and like other settings that may not have like the body blade or flex bar. I think it's interesting how that like the oscillatory method and trying to find something to really replicate that. I think this article just shows like how we can use these kind of devices to activate certain muscles if we want to progress them through rehab and things of
Do
that.
you know how much a body blade is? Like what's
Like about $150. They're not bad.
that's not terrible.
I think the one in YUH is like the gigantic one. It's like 6 feet tall. So it's like hitting the floor as people are using it. And you're like, what the heck is that? It's like massive. So, but I think they come in 3 different sizes, if I'm not mistaken. So the body blade. Right? It's like the head bobble.
Yeah, I wonder if anyone's ever like, because everyone's only been holding on to the body blade like with upper extremity, but I wonder if anyone's tried to like strap a body blade onto like the foot, or if they like strapped it onto their forehead and try to get some exercise out of that.
I think you should try it, Philip, and then let us know how it does.
I know.
After this drink, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like the iron neck, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you guys think about that iron neck? It's like it's that weird halo thing, and it's just like attached to a cable. Yeah,
I don't know.
I would never try that. But just looking at people trying it, it's just like.
I have one of the little beanie caps, and I wear it to keep my earbuds in when I run. That's about all I use it for. That's about how in depth I've kind of looked into the concept of it. I'm sure there's something to strengthening the neck in an oscillatory way. I don't know. Have you guys heard of the little collar thing, the little clamp thing that's supposed to like decrease a little bit of carotid vein blood flow to help with concussions. Have you ever seen that thing?
Oh,
So
it's like that.
it's a collar, yeah.
Yeah. It's like a little
Oh,
like, blue. Yeah, like the blue black little band thing that.
Yeah, Luke Kuechly was wearing it
Yeah,
for
yeah.
the
it
Panthers
kind
and
of looks
stuff.
like the old phone thing that they used to do with the Bluetooth. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. And so apparently it's supposed to add just enough compression to their neck to reduce blood flow, so it increases like almost like a fluid kind of barrier, so it keeps a little bit more fluid in the head, so when they hit someone it doesn't necessarily slosh the brain or hit the brain quite as hard. So it comes from the concept of a woodpecker. So the woodpeckers have
Yeah.
that muscle that kind of goes all the way around, so whenever they're able to kind of shock absorb and stuff. So I don't know, and apparently that muscle contracts to something like a hyoid bone that's around the neck that helps to decrease the amount of blood flow. So then they kind of wonder why hummingbirds aren't brain dead, right? But they can all day long.
Interesting.
So
Yeah. Well, if Luke Kuechly
it is. It's super cool.
He retired this season. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how effective that device was to prolong his career.
Nice. Well, hey guys, I got to get rolling, but good stuff. So that was fun. I will definitely catch up on the article. I swear. But I got friends from high school texting me right now saying I am patiently waiting on the bridge. So I got to get rolling. So
All right.
okay.
Sounds
All
good.
right, guys. Have a great night.
Thanks for hopping
Thanks.
on, Ross. All right. So, is there anything else we want to talk about for the article? I think it was pretty straightforward and a lot of things that we could have come up with the body blade or the flex bar. I think it was just really cool that we get to see like other devices that kind of implement that same effect with the devices that they mentioned in the article. Yeah. So let's see. We're probably gonna meet again in 2 weeks. If anyone's interested in bringing up a new article to discuss, you guys can email me, and then I'll send out another invite, and then we'll go from there, and hopefully we'll get more people to join, and yeah, we'll go through the same thing, grab a drink, and think responsibly. But yeah, this was fun.
Yeah. It's nice to meet all you guys.
Nice to meet you.
So,
Nice to see you. All right. Cool.
good article, Paulina. Good job.
Good job, Paulina. All right. Well, everyone, you guys have a great night. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Take care. Bye.